everyone know, this session is being recorded, so your names will be blurred, and this is so you can watch it back in a later date. We will also put it on YouTube so you can re-watch it, and if you've missed it, you can watch it again. My name is Kev. I work in the student recruitment team and outreach, and I'll hand over to the ambassador for which is Maisie. Just tell us about you.
I'm Maisie. I'm a level 6 studying early childhood studies.
Perfect. So, the courses we offer early childhood studies, with foundation year, early childhood with level 6, social work, childhood studies with therapeutic play, and childhood studies with therapeutic play with foundation year. Research in the university. So what steps did you take before joining the university, Maisie?
Steps I took before coming to university was that I looked at all the modules clearly. So I researched at different universities what modules interested me. And this was like a big factor in deciding what university to pick. And then due to them being widely different, I think it is important to look at what ones are going to benefit you and something that you can do in the future.
Perfect. How do you feel about going to university?
I was initially nervous. I wasn't deciding to go to university straight away. But then I started to have a look on the open days, and Chichester was my first university to look at. And because of the support and how friendly everyone was, I started to feel like less nervous. I got excited about what opportunities the university could provide me, and then overall it's been a lovely experience.
Perfect. And what's your top tip when researching universities?
Well, I would also say, again, just deciding courses. I would also think about how far away you want to be from your home as well. I think some students can handle the long distances, and however, some students can't. And obviously, homesickness can play a factor into that. So I definitely think picking a university that is just right for you and right for your family is important.
Yeah, perfect. So getting started. So what was your first week like at the university?
The first week was very busy, but busy in the sense of I got to meet lots of people. It was loads of social events happening, and I felt very welcomed. The support, like I said, was amazing, and it was just a lovely week. Obviously, homesickness does play a factor, but once you got to meet people in your course and your lecturers, then I was fine after the first week and felt that the best decision had been made for myself.
Perfect. How did you find settling into student life then?
I found it quite easy. I'm quite a sociable person, I would have to say. So I just made sure that I put myself out there. I made the friends in the first week, and they're the friends that I still have till this day. I would also think that social life through our sports and societies was a big factor as well, and that helped me make other friends that weren't on my course as well. So I got to know multiple different people.
Perfect. What does a typical week look like now for you?
So a typical week now, it has slightly changed from first year and second year. I'm in now my third year. We've just finished our last lecture today, and we're focusing on our dissertations and our last hand in. So at the moment, it's a lot of independent study work, but in first year and second year, we had a lot of lectures lasting up to about 3 hours long, but breaks in between. And yeah, it's just completely different now, but I like the independent work that we get to do.
Great. How many days are you in at university in your first year?
In my first year, I was in 3 days, and that consisted of a lecture each day.
Okay, perfect. Do you have time alongside studying for like a job?
Yeah, so I have a part-time job just in town in Chichester. And it's just a retail job, so I work on the weekends. So yeah, I have time in the week to focus on my studies, and then time at the weekend to get the money that I need to live at university.
Perfect. So, what were your biggest concerns before coming to university?
I think probably the workload. I think I was slightly worried about the step up from college, because, like I said, it is quite independent. You have to really make sure you're motivated yourself to do the work, even though you do have amazing support at the university and you always have the lecturers asking you if you're okay. It is definitely very independent study. So that was probably the most worried I was about joining university, the workload.
So, moving away from home and making friends. So, how did you feel about moving away from home?
So obviously, you know, the homesickness, and I was initially sad, um, but I've made the friends, like the best friends here, and so it's been actually a positive experience. I think it's taught me to be more independent as well, and because I don't live too far away from Chichester, I do still have my family to go back to, and I get to see them on a regular basis, so it's not too different for me.
Um, did you live in student accommodation in your first year?
Yes, so I lived in Springfield 5 accommodation in my first year. I absolutely loved it. I had absolutely no complaints about the accommodation. The communal area slash kitchen area that we had was really big, so it was nice to actually host social events, and it was nice to just sit in the kitchen with all my friends and
Mm,
enjoy each other's company. So the accommodation was lovely.
that's great. And how did you feel about making new friends and meeting new people?
So, like I said, obviously I'm quite a sociable person. So there is initial worry about obviously whether these people are going to like you, or
Mm,
whether you're going to find people who have similar interests as you. And I think the first initial day is a bit daunting. Everyone doesn't know what they're kind of doing, what people are thinking, but I think you settle very uh, easily into Chichester at this university, because it was just very welcoming. Everyone was so lovely. And then once you gained those friends, then you meet friends through those friends. So it was just kind of a social network. And because the university is so small, you get to know so many people.
perfect. Did you join any applicant groups before you started university?
Um, don't think I did. I joined like the Facebook groups
Yeah.
to find out who I was living with
Mm,
um, in my accommodation. So that obviously really did help with the transition from leaving my home to university, because I did know a few people. Haven't obviously met them in person, but I knew what they were kind of like. So it felt like I already kind of had some friends on the initial day. So that was also probably something I would recommend doing as well
yeah.
before coming to university.
Um, and you say you're in your third year. So, how does the process of finding a second or third year house work?
So the process was quite a smooth process for me and my housemates. We went to the housing fair that was hosted by the student union, and we actually met our landlords there. We went around a few houses, and then we went to the house that we're living in now, and she had a few houses and we viewed those, and it was very much like we were there, we were looking around the house and we said, do we like this? Yes. And then we told our landlord, and then it started just with the paperwork, and it was very easy. We didn't really have any complaints. We only viewed about 4 houses, I think, as well, because it was better to kind of get in quickly, because it can be a difficult process if you wait too long. So I would recommend seeking out landlords quite early on, but the housing fair was the way we found our landlords.
Perfect. And coping with exams and essays. So what type of assessments do you have in your subject?
So we have a mixture in early childhood studies. So we have essays, presentations, reports, case studies, multiple other ones as well. So that's what we have.
So how do you prepare for these assessments, and how many and how often do you have the assessments?
So how I prepare for an assessment is look at the learning objectives. I always think lecturers really look for people who've made sure they've hit every mark. And so that's what I would do. I would compose the learning objectives, have a look at them, and then start with a plan. I also do want to say I do get study support here for my dyslexia. So I would then go to my study support, and then we would both then talk it through with each other. So I would know what the lecturers are asking me and how many we have. We have like 3 or 4, but then they might consist of a split. So it might be half the grade is an essay and half the grade is a presentation. It just depends on what course and what module you're doing.
Perfect. So do you have a placement?
So I did have placement. So I did placement in second year, and we did, and then it's also now an option to do in third year on our course. So I haven't, obviously, since the course has changed, been offered that, but I probably would have taken it if I could, because placement was a lovely experience, and to gain that experience was really helpful, and to show it on a CV as well will be great for future jobs. And yeah, so I had one in a nursery and one in a school as well.
Perfect. Do you sort your own placement, or does the uni help with that?
So I wouldn't say the university helps, but your course does. So regarding our course, we have a database with about 500 plus places that previous or current students are at, and they're the places that the lecturers feel that were good places to accommodate for students. So you would then go on that database and then start contacting a few people and regularly keep contact with your admin person.
Perfect, thank you. So as mentioned, we do offer loads of support on offer for students. As if there's anything they need, we most likely have it. So what would you say to someone considering studying here?
To just be open-minded. The course can provide you with a great insight into particular jobs out there in the field that you want to study in, and being open-minded allows for someone to develop an interest in a particular job they may have not thought about before.
Perfect. So you can chat to our students on Unibuddy if you just follow that link, and also you can join our Facebook applicant group, and you can talk to course mates, and you'll be able to find your housemates as well. So any further questions? So I've come up with something. You mentioned joining clubs and societies. So what did you sign up to?
So I'm currently on the women's football team. It's been a positive experience. I've played football my whole life, and then getting to do it at university, because I wasn't able to now do it at home, has been great, because I've just continued on with that, and that was an easy process to join. And all societies and teams welcome everybody of every ability, and we pride ourselves on making sure that everyone has a lovely time on and off the pitch as well.
Yeah. What's the local area like?
So the local area for socially, there isn't much in Chichester, I want to be honest, but there are a few like pubs and that turn into clubs. So we have Vestry, Then we also have a nightclub in Bognor as well. But then because we are so close to the train station, then we can get onto trains and go to Portsmouth and Brighton with nightclubs if that is something you want to do. Or the SU provide so many events and host so many events that actually you might not ever need to go off campus, because you might get all your social network here on campus.
Perfect. And in a few words, how would you sum up your time at Chichester so far?
It's been amazing. It's definitely a decision I did not regret. I've met some best friends for life here, and the course and the support has been amazing. And I have no complaints.
Perfect. Well, that's the end of our webinar. So you can always come back and watch it on YouTube.